Okay, welcome back to Big Fella's podcast. So today we're going to talk about life after losing, Mark.
What? Losing what?
Losing weight.
Well, of course. Lost a lot of things over the years, mate. But
Dignity.
yeah, self-ex, money, lost loads of money.
Fucking hell.
Oh, yeah.
But life after losing weight, mate. So what I would say, and we just discussed this before we started recording, is that I don't feel like I'm there yet, mate. I'll be honest. I feel like I've still got quite a long way to go.
Yeah, much the same, mate. I still like to lose 6 stone. I'm 4.5 stone in, so I've got another stone and a half to go. But I'm now at a point where I'm no longer doing the Kangaroo's weight plan, but I'm doing getting into sort of doing some exercise and some healthier eating and just adjusting to real eating, whatever that is.
Yeah, like what, with clean foods and stuff like that, so less processed shit, basically.
Yeah, and like I said, we've done a lot of research on sort of ultra-processed food. There's a documentary on telly last night. Did you see that? No, me neither.
It's playing Real Madrid in the Champions League. That was my...
Fair enough, I get that. Well, Norwich beat Plymouth 6-1 a couple of nights ago, so yeah, that was a touch. But yeah, there's Chris Van Tilliken, author of Ultra Processed People. He had a documentary on BBC, I believe it is, so it'll be on the iPlayer, so we'll give that a watch over the next few days. But yeah, changing my ways of eating, and the other thing I've got is the Yucca app. Did I tell you about that?
Yeah, I've got it based on your recommendation.
Yeah, no, it's been great, that. Although you do get a bit, almost get your tin hat on a bit, because you're then like, shit, I can't eat that. Fucking hell, that's awful. That things that you think were good for you are fucking dreadful, and it's tricky, isn't it?
Yeah, I kind of think with that though is that you've got to recognise that it's giving you all of the bad. So like it does, and it's really good because it opens your eyes into food. So anyone who doesn't know what we're talking about, so Yucca is an app where you can go around, let's say a main supermarket, and you scan the barcode a bit like you can on MyFitnessPal, right? But it will tell you what health concerns there are. So if there's like some preservative in there that's known to or believed to be linked to cancer, then it will tell you that's in there. And you'll be quite surprised because a lot of the time you'll have what you think is a healthy meal. So as an example, my friend Cheryl the other day, she'd bought from M&S, I think it was, like this salady couscous type lunch thing. And she'd clearly done that with a bit of like a healthy thought process in mind. Like, I don't want to go for a sandwich, I want to go for this, it's got stuff in it. But there was actually quite a few preservatives in there, and one of them was linked to research around cancer. So it's good for that avenue. But the thing is, mate, it's hard to find something that's completely green.
Yeah. Kale, I think that's 100%. No, well, there is and there isn't. I think it's just sort of natural food. So like, yeah. You sort of like yogurt, your fruit, your vegs are all going to be sort of like 100% good scoring foods in that. There's been things that surprised me as well. Like I said, it gives you like a scale from like bad, poor, good, excellent. I think it's four scores, isn't it? And I remember a few weeks back getting a sausage roll, and it was a Marks and Spencer one, and it looked really nice, and I thought, yeah, I'll get that because that'd be all right. And then I got tucked into it, and
hang on. So you bought a sausage roll thinking that's all right. That's not, but it's a sausage roll.
It was a Marks and Spencer, one of their top ones, right?
Yeah, it's still going to be shit food.
Yeah, but hear me out. Right, this gets better, okay? So I get it, and I'm about 3/4 of the way through, and I thought, well, let's just check it to see what the score is. The score was 0. It was like one of the worst possible foods you could eat. It had packed full of additives, a couple of them apparently carcinogenic. And I was like, fuck, if I'd have known that, I'd have not touched it. And then there's been other times, a couple of weeks ago, I was in a supermarket, and I was like, well, if I can't have a sausage roll, what can I have? And I was just scanning other sort of snacky items. I think I'll just get the best of a bad bunch. They're all going to be a bit shit. I picked up a samosa, scanned that, and the score was 72 out of 100. It was good. It was very good. and you look at the ingredients, and it's just there's no additives, there's no preservatives. It was just a bit of chicken, some vegetables, phyllo pastry, cooked in a bit of oil. Not the best thing in terms of calories, but better than a sausage roll. No additives, no processed shit in there.
And I think that's what I like about that app is because, look, if you're after weight loss, then of course you need a calorie controlled diet, or you need to be eating, you know, good macronutrients, certain amount of protein, stuff like that. You need to focus on your diet. What I think the Yucca app does well is it just opens your eyes to the things that are in food, and the additives, they might not put, you know, I don't think you put weight on by necessarily consuming these, but there's still an important health aspect to it, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. And it's, again, it's all about equipping yourself with knowledge, isn't it? And I know we chatted to Matt the other week, and that was one of the things he said is like, good bit of food is steak and chips. If the chips aren't bad, cooked the right way, they're all right. It's equipping yourself with the right knowledge, I guess, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think you've said this 100 times, you know, you don't get fat for eating a chocolate bar. You get fat for eating a chocolate bar every day, every time you go out in the car, or, you know, it's the consistent things that we all do that have that detrimental impact, isn't it?
I didn't get fat off that all-inclusive holiday. I got fat by getting Mars bar and a Red Bull when I filled up my car. It's that kind of behaviour and that kind of habit. But no, it's true. But obviously we're not finished on our weight loss journey, but there are changes that we've both noticed since losing the weight. What have you noticed?
Yeah, so mirror what you say. I still feel like I've got a fair way to go, but you know, I lost, I think, you know, about 6 stone. So obviously the first thing you notice it, you don't notice it as much as you would think in the mirror, I don't think, because it happens gradually.
Yeah, you're looking at yourself every day, so
yeah,
you don't notice it.
But even now, I still run into people, and I'm still like, oh God, you've lost loads of weight, and I've seen them during my journey.
Yeah.
And if I haven't seen someone for a few years, that they're almost like, whoa, you know, you're like a new person. Yeah. But one of the biggest things I noticed, obviously, you know, this is quite obvious, but the clothes. Yeah. So your clothes start just drowning.
That's the first thing you notice, isn't it, I think?
And that's really nice because I'll be honest, mate, like one of the things, so I've always kind of liked my clothes, and I know I'll probably say this now with some cheap clothes on, but I've always sort of looked at it whilst being overweight and I always used to try on designer clothes. And then you get that fucking, like you go and try on a t-shirt in, I don't know, John Lewis or some nice shop somewhere.
Yeah.
And you're like desperate to fit into it because you love the t-shirt, it's designer. And, you know, I'm not saying it's everyday clothes, but you're going out and you want to look good, and you go and try this fucking thing on, and then your man tits are fucking pushing out, like you can see your handles on the side.
Yeah.
And there's a part of you that thinks, can you get away with this? And then the reality hits you is, do you look like a complete twat?
Yeah. There's a brand that are designed for big fellas, though, isn't there? Is it built different?
Yeah,
I mean, being a fat fucker, they've been coming up on my social media ads quite regularly.
Yeah,
or being a former fatty. After
well, I think for me though, you know, it's I did realise, and actually I've become less into it now, but I did realise that actually having nice clothes that are built for you is better. Yeah. And like at first, when I started losing loads of weight, I did go out and spend quite a lot of money on clothes. Like I went out and bought a Ralph Lauren coat for 400 quid, loads of Tommy Hilfiger stuff and bits and bobs like that, because all of a sudden I could fit into that now. And it was like a big, like, whoa, this is lovely. Yeah. And then do you just think to yourself, like, actually, it's a complete waste of fucking money. So I've stopped doing that now, but there was definitely that initial, like, whoa, I can fit into this now.
Yeah. I've never been one for spending loads of money on clobber. It's never been my cup of tea. But
I think it was the 15 years of not being able to do it.
You didn't have the chance or the choice, did you?
Yeah. And I think I just needed to get it out of my system a little bit.
Yeah, no, I get that, yeah. So I've got a 17-year-old stepson who goes to football. So he was Stone Island, CP Company and all that clobber. And
is he a hooligan, is he?
Yeah, he thinks he's hard, but no, he's not. I could have him. Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, no, he's all into that. And I don't mind it, but I'm not. And now and again, I've maybe spent a few quid on like a jumper and that, but it's not really for me. And so I've kind of gone the opposite way because I realise I literally need to buy a whole fucking wardrobe. So I turned to Vinted.
Good idea.
You've been on there?
Yeah, so I know of Vinted because I get fucking knocks on the door most days I'm at home where my wife's been like, oh, that's too good a deal to send out. And actually, it's fucking part of my garage full of shit that just is shit.
Yeah.
But it's really good for like clothes and stuff. Is it second-hand clothes?
Yeah. But I've then bought designer stuff off there because I had paying 400 quid for a jumper, but I bought a CP company jumper for 50 quid off there.
Yeah.
That checked it, it's all legit and everything, it's not fake, because that was my first thing, it's probably someone's having it and probably fake, but it's all checked and everything. And then I was like, it's all right, this. And so then because I lost the weight quickly, I needed to start buying stuff quickly. So it then became quite expensive. And I was like, well, I could go to like Tesco or Asda and buy just some cheap work shirts there. But for near enough the same price, I could get like a second-hand sort of Charles Tyrwhitt, is it Tyrwhitt or Tyrwhitt? Do you know that brand? I can't remember how you even pronounce it. You get their shirt, like second-hand version of them. And most people have got the decency to sort of send you something that's in reasonable condition. I said it's starting to like fray on the neck or something. I think anyone's going to really sell that. So bought the stuff and put it through the wash, and then it fits good, you know. So yeah, it's been a big thing.
This is the thing, mate, because the other thing I'll say is like, because obviously I went out and bought a load of designer gear and then wore it a lot, and now it's
You wore the fuck out of it.
Yeah. So like I've got a Tommy Hilfiger hoodie, I wear it all the time, and like the inside of it now doesn't feel any different to the ones I bought from Tesco's or stuff, you know, the latest day ones.
It's all got a lifespan, I guess.
Oh yeah. But mate, I think you know, clothes is the obvious one, but what other benefits?
I was going to just, one more thing on clothes. What have you done before your fat guy clothes?
It's binned them, to be honest.
Binned them, yeah. I was chatting to my dad about this because he lost a lot of weight as well. And he said to me, because one of my first thoughts was, sorry, let's just go back a bit. One of my first thoughts was, well, do I just put these up in the loft, keep them in case the worst happens? And I thought, that's a real shitty mindset, isn't it? And it's almost like my dad was like, I was chatting to my dad about this, and he was like, no, you got to throw it all away. Those days are gone. You are never going back in those clothes. Do you know what I mean? And almost by keeping hold of them, you're kind of leaving the door open. And so I gave it so I thought about it. So yeah, so Vinted again, I've put a load of my old fat guy clothes on Vinted, sold a lot of them, and that the stuff that's worth selling, and the rest of it just binned it. And yeah, I don't want to go back to that, and so that they're gone.
Yeah, that's a really good point. It's that sort of mindset thing, and I know mindset's like, I think that's about 80% of weight loss, to be honest.
Yeah.
And it's that little thing that you can do just to help with that mindset. That actually, if I put on weight, I'm going to have to buy a load of new clothes. And you know, mate, we've been there where you're starting to get too big for your clothes as well as you're gaining weight.
Yeah.
And that hits you quite hard. And at least it does try and spur you on. I think of the amount of crash diets I did over the years because all of a sudden a pair of jeans were too fucking small.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh my God. And,
yeah.
But although it's maybe not the be all and end all, it's just that little bit to help your mindset.
Yeah, no, it is. And it's just, and again, you're leaving the door open by keeping hold of them. So just fucking get rid, guys, you know. So yeah, but yes, what other ones do you want to talk about?
So I think one of the most important things is like I get ill a lot less, than I used to, and like I said, I'm still not there. Like on the BMI chart, I'm still overweight, but I'm close to. Well, I'm probably like a point or two away from not being. Not overweight, obese.
Right. Okay.
I'm close to just being overweight, so I'm still a lot heavier than I should be. I'm still well on my journey, but just losing that excess weight. The weight I have, I do find that I pick up less coughs and colds. So don't get me wrong, mate, still get ill. But we've both got kids in the family, and you know, kids are just fucking virus spreading machines, aren't they?
So all they do is just go mix in this little horrible melting pot called school, and then come back and bring home all sorts of diseases, don't they?
Yeah. I used to pick up a good 3 or 4 colds/flu, whatever they are, a year. But to be honest, mate, I don't really, like, touch wood, I don't really have that anymore. I've not been ill for quite a while.
Yeah, you know what? I've not had much either. I mean,
It's one of those ones, now you've said it, it's like, I've not really got ill this year. This time last year, I had a cough that went on for like 3 months. Fucking ridiculous, you know. I've not had that this year. And yeah.
I mean, it doesn't make you immune, obviously. Like, I think you had like a very minor cold when we recorded once.
We did, yeah.
But you seen the next time we spoke, and we speak a lot. Yeah, the next time we spoke, you're like, I'm on the back end of that now. So I think your immune system must just be
dealt with it quicker, I guess, yeah. And again, you're probably feeding yourself with the right nutrition, so your immune system's up, and you get over these things quicker. If only there was a doctor we could talk to about this kind of shit.
Yeah. It's probably a good point to mention it,
We should probably say now, shit.
Yeah. In the new year, we have a 3 episodes coming out with Dr. Lisa Clift, who is a weight loss specialist GP. So we'll leave it there, but we've recorded them already, and they are great episodes. So
we're doing ads within our own show. It'd be pretty ads for our own show in our own show.
Yeah, I don't know how that works.
I don't know either. But we pay ourselves for it, do we?
Yeah, an affiliate. Yeah. But yeah, mate. So obviously the physical side of it is good. You feel better, and I suppose the clothes thing kind of brings us on a little bit to like the mental health benefits as well.
Yeah. You kind of brushed on it briefly, but like, people noticing. Like I said, you don't notice it yourself, but people noticing. My job, I'm out on the roads in sales, and I see my clients usually once a month. So when I was going through this journey, it was just dropping off, and people are like, wow. And I'd see 3-4 customers a day, and I'd get the same response. I mean, they're pretty good for the ego in a way.
Yeah, and also,
it was nice, you know.
Yeah, good. And the thing is, you deserve that because you're putting the yards in. But also, again, that's a big part of your motivation, I suppose. That must have been spurring you on some more.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And it's that time. Certainly, like within like the first few weeks, you'll have a massive drop off, and then you'll probably plateau for a few weeks. And in your head, you're kind of like thinking, oh, I'm slowing down. Maybe this isn't for me. Maybe it's not as good as what I thought it was. But then you'll see someone like, mate, you've lost some weight. You're doing really well here.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, just getting that, it's a good vibe, isn't it? To sort of have people say that and everything.
Definitely, mate. And it can turn a shit day good as well. Like, if you're like, oh, fucking hell, I don't want to eat healthy today, and you're just having one of them days, and then all of a sudden someone says that to you, like, yeah, bang on.
Yeah, well, it's good. There's bad to it as well. I tell you this one. This happened a couple of weeks ago, and I hadn't seen this client, or someone who worked for me client, I hadn't seen her in over a year. And she goes, oh, Mark, you've lost so much weight. Oh, thank you. Because I miss your chubby face. I thought, well, thanks. Because he goes, no, you look good, but you just have such a nice chubby face. And I thought, all right, don't keep going on about it.
Yeah. I've got a mate that lost a lot of weight, and, you know, proud of him, he's done really well. But I'll be honest, mate, I still miss the old him. Like, I'm happy for him, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But it just looked, I don't know, it's strange. Like, it just feels like
It's getting used to it, I guess. If they've been an overweight guy for the whole time, that becomes their identity, I guess, doesn't it? And that was it for me. I tried to be, in my social circles, the funny fat guy. And then you've lost a lot of weight, well, you're just a bit of a funny guy now, aren't you?
My social circle's changed because that friend, actually, it's weird because, like you say, I don't see him all the time anymore. See him on social media more than anything else, and he's a lovely lad. Like, I've got a lot of time for him, but actually, a lot of our socialising was around food as well. And maybe that's why we've sort of taken that step back.
Yeah.
Because like it used to be like, should we go for a curry? Should we go for, whatever food? Food always used to evolve around food.
Yeah. No, it often does, and that.
But what else has changed?
I want to talk about mental health, mate, because I think like there's that self-confidence and stuff like that which comes. I'll be honest, mate. For me, the self-confidence thing, like, yeah, I am a little bit more confident.
Yeah.
But it's not cured self-confidence. Like, there's still the battles, right?
No, exactly. And it was, we want to go back to Paul Shepherd's episode. And that was one of my favourite nuggets that I took away from that was we convince ourselves that we just have this change in our appearance and all our problems are gone. We'll just wake up from a cocoon and be a completely different person. That's not the case. Don't get me wrong, you will feel better and you'll be better for it. You'll think clearer, you'll be happier in your appearance, but you're still the same person, and that not all the problems are going to go away. I think that's something that we need to kind of really...
Yeah, and I think that sums it up perfectly, to be honest, mate. I think you're right. It's definitely helped. I feel more confident. I do a little bit of public speaking in my job, do a lot of presentations.
Yeah.
And I feel slightly more confident doing it like that.
Yeah.
But I remember... So it's strange, because I remember being at my biggest, thinking, who the fuck's going to listen to you, you fat bastard? Like,
yeah.
But genuinely, mate.
I know, I get that entirely. I kind of felt if I was in sort of like networking situations or just anywhere sort of socially, I just kind of painted the picture in my head. They're not going to talk to me. He goes, people are going to take one look at you, fat fucker. Nah, not interested in listening to what he's got to say. What's he going to do? And it's, I guess I haven't got that sort of ringing in the back of my head so much. I don't know, though. My mind will probably play a trick on me and it will be something else to sort of like cause some self-doubt.
Yeah.
But, yeah, ultimately, mental health definitely improves with weight loss. You're looking after yourself better, you're eating better, and that will bring so many benefits, but it's not going to clear everything either, I think. It's probably... sound a bit sitting on the fence here, I guess, but yeah, do you get where I'm coming from? Right?
I do, yeah. Essentially, there's definitely positives, but it's not the cure. Yeah, I think is what we're trying to say. So,
yeah,
and the positives for me is I wouldn't have been able to play football like we do. I know it's only Man v Fat that we do, so it's not like we're playing in a professional league or anything, but just getting out for half an hour a week, having a run around, getting those endorphins going, clearly has a positive impact on mental health.
100%. That kind of leads on to the next point I was going to talk about was movement's so much easier. And that's kind of that was my game plan when I set out on to lose weight, was I felt that if I could shed a ton of weight, then exercise would become easier and I wouldn't hate it so much. And that is so, so true. I'm 4.5 stone off. I can run easier now. I can, I'll get down the gym, and sort of machines and equipment that just scared the fuck out of me. I'm like, no, I can have a go on that now. And I don't look like a dickhead doing it. And again, maybe that goes back to the whole self-doubt thing. But there's no doubt that running is 10 times easier when you're not carrying an extra 4.5 stone.
Yeah, definitely. But then I do also think, that we talked about this in an episode with Matt recently, is that that's how we perceive that people see us when we go to the gym, right? But actually, when you actually go to the gym, it's amazing how supportive people are. Yeah. And I think a lot of people assume that you're being looked at or people have an opinion on you.
Yeah.
And, I've got mates, certainly from the police, who are fitness fanatics. Like, my mate Daz, he was ex-forces, he was well into his fitness, in his 50s, but, mate, built, it's even now like brick. But he was probably the most supportive person I've ever known. He was always like encouraging, come into the gym, mate, let's do a workout together. Like, yeah. And I think that's, it's just, again, it's that mentalness, there's that mental thing of how we perceive ourselves.
Yeah, I think there's definitely an element of that. But going back to it, it is easier. Exercise is easier when you're carrying a lot less weight. And so, I can run on a treadmill now and feel comfortable doing it. Still not my favourite thing. Oh, yeah, comfortable's a big word. I feel better doing it. I've never really liked it, but no, I feel more capable, and I can run longer. I don't run out of breath so quickly, and I don't sweat as much. I still do a bit because that's what it is, but I'm not. It's easier, And now having lost that, I feel like I can really kick on with sort of like exercising, sort of really hit the gym harder now and sort of real feel the benefits of it.
And I think it's a nice circle, because actually when you are working out, when you're doing the gym 3-4 times a week, that actually then spurs you on to eat healthier, because you know if you go and eat shit food and then go to the gym, you're going to actually suffer for that at the gym. So it's like a nice circle, isn't it? Or a nice system to say.
There's one other point, I think it's probably the last one, unless you can think of anything else, but one of the things that you don't realise until you've done it, what you do, you inspire others. Now, one of my best mates, Dan, you know Dan, don't you?
Yeah.
Fry.
Yeah.
Big up Dan Fry if you're watching. I'm sure you are, mate. So he saw sort of how I got on with the Cambridge weight plan, and he's done it himself in the past. But we got together in the summer, and he was like, "Oh, mate, what you've done is amazing." I should also say Dan was one of the ones that encouraged us to sort of give this a go. So we do have a honorary member, honorary big fella is Dan. So I saw Dan in the summer, and he was like, "Wow, what you've done is amazing." And so he's got back onto the Cambridge weight plan, and to date he's lost 2.5 stone.
Brilliant.
I mean, it's fantastic. So the fact that you doing something can help inspire others, I think, is brilliant.
Yeah, absolutely, mate. Yeah, and you know, I suppose the hard thing for Dan as well, right, is that he's a caterer. He works in catering.
He works in food, yeah.
That must be shit. And Dan, fair play to you, mate, for the 2.5 stone, because that takes some commitment when you work around shit food, or not shit food, great food.
He's in nice food now. He does some very good food. He has his own business. He used to be a manager at Mackey's for years, didn't he? So that never probably helped. But at least he's surrounded by good food now. So. If you ever need some catering, then give Fry's Catering a call. And Dan, you can share the commission with me, mate.
Yeah, well, hang on, mate. What is this? It's almost become like an advert.
Yeah.
Well, that's kind of life after the loss, or say some of the loss. We're still
we're not done yet, but certainly we've both experienced some changes in the last sort of year or so, and it's good to talk about them, isn't it?
Yeah. Let us know what you think. If you've lost some weight this year, if you're doing really well with your journey, let us know what the benefits are, how it's affected you. And we will catch up with you in the next one.
See you in the next episode, guys. Take it easy.